Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining me for today's live from the AMPEI Conference in Chiapas, Mexico. We're on the campus of UNACH in San Cristobal de las Casas, and we're at a conference. This is the 30th AMPEI Conference for Mexican international educators. And it brings together about 150 individuals in international education from Mexico, the United States, and some European institutions that are here for the next 3 days, discussing what's going to be happening in international education and how we can all work together towards greater representation and inclusion on our campuses as we practice international education. We're actually on the campus of UNACH, as I mentioned, the Universidad Autónoma de Chiapas, and we're on the campus of their law school. And the opening today happened with representation from across Mexico and the international community here, also institutions and organizations involved in international education across Mexico, including Canadian and U.S. representatives from CONAHEC and also AMPEI as well. So it's the 30th conference, first time here in Chiapas, and the next 3 days there's going to be a lot of conversations from the different members here. We had the pleasure of hearing from Silvio Gonzalez, the U.S. Consular Diplomacy representative from the embassy, basically a step up from public affairs officer, but gave a very important speech, I think. Very colloquial, but also able to touch on some key issues in the relationships between Mexico and the United States, and actually what he would hope this would be the North American century instead of the Asian century. So what we're going to do today, as we wander around, since we're live on Facebook here, we get to do the cross streams to LinkedIn and Twitter, but we certainly have the podcast up in the next day or two. Free moment from the conference. But come to you when discussing the topics of internationalization. I know one of the things as I was getting ready for this conference that I was hearing about, and some of the sessions and themes for this conference are on migration, on inclusion, on sustainability of internationalization efforts. And those are questions that international offices around the world are trying to answer over the last few years, and they're increasingly going to have to answer. And when you think about what that means, sustainability in terms of travel, in terms of what makes sense, what's realistic, what expectations are. And Silvio Gonzalez mentioned during his speech, he's been challenged by Ambassador Salazar, the U.S. Ambassador to Mexico, to increase Mexican students studying in the U.S. from 13,000, as they currently are, to over 100,000. So a very ambitious goal, certainly one that I don't know if it's achievable in the near future, but his sense, Silvio's sense, is that any progress that gets made on this front is going to be coming from short-term programs, just because the appetite necessarily for degrees overseas, particularly undergraduate, is not as significant. And so what we see happening is we look at the knowing different markets have different needs and understanding what those are. That's part of the challenge as we do what we do in international education. Every institution is different, in terms of what they can provide. Every university has its own pluses and minuses that they try and share with prospective students, prospective partners. And part of the challenge is finding that mix, that common mix that we can all share together. Part of that here today, after the initial speeches at the opening, had a photograph for the ceremony, for the conference, all the attendees, about 150 attendees altogether. We're now having a fair, feria, and institutions and from other countries, City University of Seattle, represented here today, Vancouver International College, Cape Breton University, to Canadian institutions, some other service providers here as well. We've got a good mix of private institutions in Mexico as well as the United States. We've got a number of people here today looking for future partners. One of the themes of this conference has been the success of COIL programs, collaborative online international learning. And what they've done with these COIL programs, and they're going to be showcasing them during session blocks tomorrow, is that they've had a number of institutions from the U.S. that joined the program to partner with universities in Mexico to offer these programs, international learning programs. And these have resulted in some collaborations between faculty members both in the United States and Mexico. It's also led to opportunities for them to meet in person during this trip. So a couple of the American institutions that met with today have been able to share their experiences meeting professors in person, meeting students that they were working with during the programs. So really an important session happening. And the noise around me is students coming to this fair, taking a look at the different options, some of them picking up institution brochures from the overseas institutions. There's a procession of the delegation of major bigwigs for the conference going through and having very short presentations. I've had the pleasure, before I came down, to meet with David Julian from CAE and his wife, Silvio Gonzalez as well. Conference in Las Vegas next November. That's will be hosting with a group of other institutions. Very excited about what that's going to mean for us as an institution, UNLV, but also for our opportunities to connect with a broader range of institutions across the United States, with whom we have geographic proximity and hopefully programmatic and cultural so it's these kinds of opportunities, frankly, because you never know what's around the corner. I've given some slides to present about CAE to the universities to encourage them to register next November for the CAE Conference in Vegas. And that's an opportunity I wouldn't have had if I weren't here for this conference. Presenting on Friday on the topics of how we heard about internationalization at UNLV. I have a representative from Education USA, one Manuel Medina, a good friend of mine, I've been a friend of yours. He's based in Chiapas here in Chiapas, and we'll be doing presentations with him on Saturday down in Tuxtla for prospective students and parents. So it's really an opportunity to touch all the bases really for what international education is about and should be about. And we've had a number of opportunities in the last few days, and there's Silvio from our citizen, and he's having an opportunity to chat and having a conversation with him about CAE too. He's excited about that. But in terms of what we're going to be doing here today for the next 4 days, it's having those conversations over lunch, over reception tonight, having an opportunity to talk about all those things that intrigue us and keep us up at night, that excite us more than anything else. And really, it's an opportunity to get to learn more than anything else, learn about each other. Each other's cultures, about each other's colleges and institutions, and universities. So my goal right now is to find my good friend Manuel. Hopefully he's still around. We have an opportunity to chat with him about Education USA, and as I mentioned, we'll be doing a session for him on Saturday. So I'm very excited about that. But in terms of what this meeting is, there he is, and I'm going to bring him on camera here for him live. There's my good friend, Manuel. How are you?
Hola. Yes, I'm doing real good. How are you guys?
And Manuel, he and I have an Ohio connection. He's an OU grad, like my wife, and I'm still in Ohio, so he often comes back and visits. His family in So, well, tell me a little bit about what AMPEI means for you as an Education USA project. What you would get out of this over the next few days.
For me, it's been all about connections. I mean, I've been walking around already, having conversation with 5-6 different people, exchanging cards, and people that are. I guess one of my challenges has been to find people that are in the field of international education in Mexico, and it's really nice to be in a place where all of us are. Right now, I think it's been really good. It's my first time in AMPEI, actually, but I'm enjoying it a lot. Yeah, connecting with people.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to our presentation on Friday. Yeah, so it's changed a little bit from what we originally thought it was going to be, but we're going to get through it and be flexible as all international educators have to be in what we do, right?
It's part of our,
It's part of the DNA, right? You got to be flexible. So great. Well, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you joining in. Cheers. So yeah, this is an opportunity, as I mentioned, the next 3 days to really get deep with some of these institutions, to get to know them and their needs as institutions, where there might be opportunities for collaboration, and to sit next to someone from Minach here who works in there on the social sciences side and is very eager to explore partnerships with institutions related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Here, and what that means here versus what that means in the United States may be very different, but there certainly can be lessons learned as to who makes up that diversity, equity, and inclusion on our different campuses. So hopefully we'll have a conversation with him about opportunities to collaborate there. So a little bit of everything. We're at the law school here at Minach. So this is something that I asked, hey, we've got casinos in Mexico, right? Yeah, and how about a gaming law LLM? Lawyers here, future lawyers here going into that. So it's opportunities for professional development for that. So we'll be connecting with some of the folks at the law school here, a lot of different opportunities to connect on a number of different ways. So as you can tell, it's turned into a beautiful day here in San Cristobal. Sunny skies are poking its way through the clouds. We're at 7,200 feet elevation, so it is a mountainous area, and just on the other side of the law school, a nice hill here, the church on top, so we can get a chance to do some sightseeing today. So that's all we have for you from our SMIE Consulting Midweek Roundup, live from the AMPEI Conference in Chiapas, Mexico. So until next time, we wish you all the very best and have a good rest of your day. Cheers.